No way. A phantom hound? That's so weird. Black shuck? I feel a bit creeped out. Wow. Oh, hi, sorry. Hi everyone. You just caught me reading this brilliant book. It's called All About Ghosts, The World of the Unknown. I read this book many, many years ago when I was a child, and there's a new version of it out now. I've learned so much from it. I was just reading all about a phantom hound called Black Shuck. There's so much amazing stuff in here. Do you know what? I've forgotten to introduce myself. Where are my manners? My name is Mr. Tull, and I'm a teacher at Park Primary School. Today, we're going to be looking at non-fiction books, like the one I'm reading, and thinking about how we can evaluate them. We're going to have a look at a few different books and get some ideas about how they're structured. Let's get started. The first thing we want to do is to make sure that we know what some of the most important words in our lesson mean. First up, evaluation. When we evaluate something, we're judging the quality of it. It's about exploring how effectively it achieves what it wants to achieve. We're going to be evaluating non-fiction texts. Non-fiction texts include lots of different text types, which are all based on facts and real life. Non-fiction texts can include fact files and encyclopedias, dictionary and thesauri. It can include information books, and it can include instructional texts. It can also include things that are personal, but that are about things that have happened in real life, rather than fiction or fantasy. So, this could include letters, diaries, reviews, and adverts. In our session today, we are going to focus on information texts. These are books which are designed to teach us interesting things about a particular topic.
But sir, what do we need to know about this for?
Oh my, there's loads of reasons. As a reader, it helps us to understand a text if we know how it is structured and organised. If we want a very specific bit of information, knowing how to read this kind of book means that we can find what we're looking for. And there's another reason too. The reason is, it's just great to read these kinds of texts, because in lots of our classes, we don't get enough time to read and to explore non-fiction texts. So doing this helps us balance out our reading diet and make sure that we're reading a really wide range of texts. So, in our session today, we're going to explore lots of different features of non-fiction texts. I want you to think about yourself as being a detective, looking for clues and ideas. Some of these features are structural. That means the way the text is put together and organised on the page. And some of the features are linguistic. That means about the way that language is used. Now, on my screen, I'm showing you 5 different texts. I want you to tell me which one you think is the non-fiction one, just from looking at the covers. We've got ghosts, we've got Vile Victorians, that's one of the horrible histories books, we've got maps, that's the big book in the middle, we've got stories for kids who dare to be different, and finally, we've got the pebbles on the beach. So, what did you think? Shout it out for me. Whoa, 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 no, not so loud. Actually, all of these are different kinds of non-fiction texts, and that's something that it's good for us to be able to recognise. Non-fiction books and even non-fiction information books like these can all look different. Good clues that a book is non-fiction are in the titles. The titles of non-fiction books tell you what it's going to be about. In fiction, even the titles leave you guessing a little bit. Now, we're going to zoom in a little bit to my ghost book. I'm going to have a little look through. So I flick through here. And, what's this I've found here? Right, I've got 2 questions for you. Talk about your answers, or if you're on your own, shout them at your screen. Question 1. Why are contents pages useful in non-fiction texts? And question 2. Why might a contents page like this not be great for a story? I wonder what you've thought. Maybe you've told your teacher. Non-fiction texts often need contents pages because we don't read them from cover to cover, or at least we don't need to do that. In my ghosts book, I might just want some specific information about people who have faked ghost sightings and tricked people. I can look through my contents to find that. Look at the contents and see where you think I would find that information. That's right. It's probably going to be page 26. I'm just going to skim to that page now. 23, 24, 25, 26. And this page is all about clever fakes. I can tell from the title, as well as from the content. What about my second question then? Why don't we want contents pages like this in stories? Well, it might give too much information away. Before you've even started reading the story, you'd know too much already. If we're reading a story about a wolf in danger, and then we see there's a chapter called How the Wolf Was Killed, it's kind of going to ruin the surprise. With stories, we read from the start of the book to the end of the book, usually anyway, so that we don't spoil what happens. And because of that, we don't want to reveal it in the contents. Let's have a look at a double-page spread of my ghost book now. We get these a lot in non-fiction books, where the information is spread across 2 pages. Now, I know there's a lot of information on here, and the writing is small, but don't worry. We are looking at the way it is organised here, and not what it actually says. Now, I'm going to give you some time to look at this, and I want to see if you can spot at least 5 different typical organisation features of a non-fiction text on here. As an example, to start you off, I can see that there is a title and subtitle. The title is Ghost Hunting, and the subtitle, unusually, is above it and is Searching for the Truth. What other things do you notice on here that tell you we're looking at a non-fiction text? Your turn, over to you. There are some brilliant organisational features here. These help us to see all the information and to keep things tidy. Let me tell you what I saw. We have an overhead map showing the room of a ghost hunter. We have text boxes to organise the text into sections. We have a text box about ghost hunting equipment and one about animal investigations. We have drawings and diagrams to show us pictures of the things being described in the text. Also, these drawings have got captions, little bits of text that explain the image. You might notice that some of the writing is in bold, and that means it's a bit thicker and a bit darker. This is also a feature in non-fiction information texts. And there are subheadings within the text boxes too, like the end of the investigation, which is in the professional ghost hunting box. Whoa! It is pretty impressive when you look at it. The creator of this text has managed to fit huge amounts of information onto just 2 pages in a way that is both organised and tidy. And this really helps the reader, really helps me find my way around. The use of these features suggests to us that this is a non-fiction text that is organised effectively. Great job! You've picked up a lot about the organisation, so now let's talk about the language. Here are some things that we don't expect to see in most non-fiction texts. We don't expect it to begin with, "Once upon a time." We don't expect to always have characters and a plot, although there are some great non-fiction books which share their information with a story. And a really good example of that, if you wanted to check it out, would be Moth by Isabel Thomas. Now, I want us to explore, we're going to have a look in this book, and we're going to have a look at a bit of text just here. I want us to explore this bit of text. It's from a book all about the weather. Let me read some of it. You can join in if you want to. Our world is warming and weather patterns are changing. This climate roller coaster is causing more thunderstorms, floods, hurricanes, droughts, tornadoes and wildfires. Meteorologists, weather scientists, monitor the changes and warn us about extreme weather events that might be heading our way. It is exciting and sometimes dangerous work. Into the clouds. Meteorologists work hard to predict severe weather accurately. They collect evidence from ground stations all around the world. They use satellites to observe the movements of storms. Okay, now let me ask a few questions. I'm going to keep the text up so that you can see it, and it might help you to answer. My first question is, are sentences more long and descriptive, or are they short and specific? Think of your answer and a reason why you think that. Now tell me your answer. I think that they are generally quite short and specific. Most sentences are simple rather than complex or compound. They contain one clear idea. Here is another question. Second question, is the language more specialised or more general? What do you think? The language is really specialised, and there are lots of words here that we don't use much in our day-to-day language. As an information text on weather scientists, we are introduced to words like meteorologist, volcanoes, hurricanes, and tornadoes. Final question. Does the writer seem like an expert? Why or why not? The language that a writer chooses is important in information texts. We read them to find things out, so we need to know that the writer is an expert on their topic. We expect to see them using the correct vocabulary. If the dentist said to you, "You've got something wrong with your thingy tooth, and I'm going to use my my thingamajig to get it out," you'd be pretty terrified. I know I would be. Experts speak and write with authority and clarity. Okay, everybody, we have explored a few different books today, and we've focused on evaluating what makes an information text effective. We looked at some structural features using the Ghost Book, and we looked at language features using a few paragraphs from a text all about disasters. My challenges for you today are as follows. First of all, I want you to see if you can create a list of at least 8 features of an information text. That's 8 features of an information text. For each one, I'd like you to explain how it helps to make the information clearer. I'm going to give you an example. For example, as one of my answers, I might have captions are used in an information text to explain what is happening in the images or diagrams, and this helps to deepen our understanding. So, that is your first challenge. And maybe you might want to just write that down quickly so you don't forget what it is that you're doing. I'm going to read another little book here for a minute or two while you write that down. Great! Well, once you've written down some of the features, I have got 2 very enjoyable tasks for you to have a go at. I would like you to find and to read an information text. Perhaps this is in your school or at home, or perhaps you can find one from the library services. Information texts can be found absolutely everywhere. Read them for pleasure and for learning, but I want you to also notice and to be having a little think about how they've been created, how they've been put together. Finally, your teacher would absolutely love to see some non-fiction information texts from you. So I want you to think, what is it that you are really, really interested in? For me, some of my interests are, I really, really like cycling, I like baking, and I also like music. So I like playing the guitar. So I'm going to make an information page double spread about one of them. I'm going to have a little think about which one I'm going to choose. And when you are thinking, I want you to use the features we've explored today to create your own and share it with your teacher. Maybe your teacher might even share it with me. Well, everybody, it has been lovely learning about how we evaluate non-fiction texts today. I hope you all do really well when you're listing out those features, and I hope that you enjoy reading and creating some non-fiction texts of your own. I'm just going to remind you who I am. My name is Mr. Tull, and I'm a teacher at Park Primary School. And I just wanted to say thank you very much for being absolutely awesome. Have a fantastic day, and hope to see you again soon.